It's Gerald Johan van Was. Let's go and have a look into these three words, tap, lap and map. Can we imagine them very quickly when I will use my foundation here of how we can recognize letters in a space and time context. Every letter is recognized in such a way that it can be derived to points in space, directions in time, and interactions in a time and space context. And it will be it will need some experience, some repetition, some variations, especially combining the different focuses that are associated with the recognition of all these points of letters, how we recognize them and can use it. It will take a little while, but I can give you a lot of examples to make it go a little bit more quickly and more spontaneously. Once you start to see that how these things are combined, these letters are combined spontaneously with the help of this geometrical system in the background. So let's face upon three similar words and how can we understand them. I will explain also the letters, how you associate them as a sound in form, so as a sound translated almost like a direct deliberate synesthesia. Synesthesia is deliberate, but here it is deliberately associated with elements that are related directly with each other in such a way that once we translate them to an orientation, they will deal with these positions. And here are the letters actually, so they are all the letters are categorized into three categories: 3 times 3 letters, 3 times 3 letters all into the 3 dimensions of space, 3 times 3 positions into the context of timing with the extra dimensions that comes to it, which show you some delay to allow you to prepare yourself for changes in future or from the past onwards or towards a different place. Or you have the full behavior into a 3 times 3 times 3 dimensional frame in which all things change all the time in all directions, but you can still derive them to a behavior that has certain limits to the possibilities of behavior. And it is all described as an introduction in my book, but I will describe it also more often into these videos how this works in a practical sense. And what else do you need there as an association? Of course, horizontal, vertical, diagonal are part of this system. And not just that, it's also these 3 parts are everywhere. It's from a starting point to a formation process to an ending part. So all these 3 times 3 associations, it's best to get used to that because you will need them all the time in all variations and you should be able to recognize them more consciously after watching more videos. We only need these first 2 categories, so the spatial frame or the spatial orientations and the timing frame or the adaptation process that needs a bit more time to see what we need to do to change anything. So we have an additional direction of change in which just 1 letter is used. So we focus for the spatial reference for the tap, lap and map with the first letters all upon a space, and that is usually associated with the space before us. So here's the foundation of our first 9 letters. Within this foundation we have also a focus upon the middle point for all letters. The middle point and the range, so from the middle to the range is our focus, and we try to look for fixed points. So even the letter A can be put into the middle when it is associated like, okay, let's have a middle focus. Nevertheless, The possibilities of A are more comparable to, let's say, a perspective. Depending on where you are in the circle towards a certain middle, this A or starting point can be different for everybody. So you have the certainty of a middle point, a 0 point. The A itself is going towards that center point of vision, but it has a certain doubtfulness in its starting point, because it can be anywhere in these points towards the middle, just like the perspective is. And depending on how far we are from a certain point of reference, depending on you or me or whoever is associating this viewpoint towards it, it can be somewhere else towards that middle. And let's show it at that point, of course. What else shall we need for it? So A is about starting point. The other letters are about the T, L, and M are all in the middle. So they're all about that formation process in that volume area also, where I form my opinion in the letter A. So let's go and add also more letters. With A, actually, what do we try to realize with the A, even though we have not defined the number 1 yet? We try to define a number 1. We go from 0 to a preferable, useful number 1. It gives you the perspective from where you are, seen as a distance towards infinity and towards now. We determine its place, our place, or our vision towards the thing, and that will be our definition of the number of the letter A, and it will be our horizontal plane. So it can be further away, closer to us. It will have a grounding, a foundation towards a perspective, or as a perspective. So that's a good comparison. But we were going to go to the next letter. And the next letter will be focusing upon an even more closer vision upon A. It's the next letter from A to T is actually like, okay, instead of just using the horizontal, let's also use additionally the vertical to it, so that we absolutely can determine the place, even the place of A, the place of my A. Where am I at this point? At indeed A plus T. That's what I'm already expressing here. At, actually, so yeah, that's where I am at, and that's my starting point, and that's the meaning also of at, by the way. But it's not at that we need ta. So ta is starting from T. T on its own is, just look at horizontal, vertical, diagonal. Where are we in the vertical sense? So the vertical towards the middle as well will be the focus that I can switch to wherever I need it, but I'm always focusing upon the middle. Actually, it's a bit from the middle onwards, so from the center, or the center of focus, whatever that focus is, I use my centering towards with the vertical to find out its correct point. Here I have only the T, so that's my T without the next letter. But and that's the point of reference of the letter T. So it's a bit up a vertical within the volume, as it says, where the form is recognized, or a form is recognized, where a feature is recognized, where something that makes a difference is recognized. And that's always somewhere in the material, let's say, most of the time, where it materializes itself and can be derived to just one point. The first 3 letters are can be derived to just one point of reference. It's somewhere there where I can define it. With an A, what will happen if I add an A to it? So I'm also I need the horizontal again. So my focus is, I have my level from where I can start, and it will be additionally there until I have the letter P. So the letter P is About directions, the letter P is the last one of the directions where I'm going to away at the borders, also at the borders, at the edges. I'm going away from my focuses, also away from my space. I'm going away and take something out. Actually, take something out to use it in my system. It says, okay, I'm going to need context in the next one, so I almost need the next level. I'm going to take something out is what the P is about. Does it fit with the word tap? Actually, it does. Tap has different meanings, but it is actually, yes, it's a little bit up. I have a horizontal reference frame there where I can have access to it. That is my access point. This is my center point where I can use it. And what will I do there, or what will I do with it? I will take something out. So as an idea, it will fit to the tap of the water or of some liquid. Also, of course, the taps from the dance, the tapping the dance is also, I have this going away from the center. I have this horizontal basis of here's my orientation, and I take a step out so I'm tapping this orientation in that way. So yes, it can still fit once you realize what it is about. What can the T be about? What the A about? How do I orientate myself with the combination of letters? Think about it. Let it sink in if you're not seeing any of some of these things immediately. But we're going to the next word, lap. Okay, lap is a level up. So it will not be about just look at the starting points that I can use, the centering points that I can use. Now here it is about the form. It will be much more about a form, something that is forming there. And it's also into the geometrical system. A, T, and K were about points into one dimension, even there where you can realize it just in that point. The U, L, and the B are a neat 2 dimensions. Within that frame of 2 dimensions, I will figure out where the L is. It is a range in the vertical sense, a double range sense. So I have a certain range for the form where I can expect the L to show itself. Again, I need this vertical, so I can use it from the center onwards. It will always use its focus. And the possibilities of where I land to will create a volume. It will have to be in 2 points, so much more I don't need. But here I have some variations where I use it 2 points in a way that I have a center point and I have a point of reference that I see. Okay, this is more dominant. It is a forming. Yeah, it is about a form. I recognize the kind of form that is forming here. Here, even within this full range. The A will focus after L towards the point of reference that I'm using as a center point. At the same time, again, I have my perspective from the full object towards that point of reference. It will still be there. So L and A will be about that. With a P, again, I have something to break out or to take out or to move away or to move to somewhere else, even to use it at some point to somewhere else. This lap, like a fabric of cotton or something, that's also a lap. Or lap can mean a lot of things, but it's that form that takes out a certain part to give it a function somewhere outside this basis of context. Let it sink in. Think about it further, and you can add also more associations from these foundations if you like. I didn't work out all the variations yet, but that's more or less the foundations of that orientation of the word lap. The M then as the last one, and here we have at the 3rd level, so I need 3 points. I'm also at the edges, so the range will be much bigger. It's a range at my edges of the form again. So I have a bigger range into 3 points, so I'll have to focus upon what do I have in all 3 directions. What will I create as a form again? To its maximum, also to its maximum, because it's at the borders, it's forming something towards its maximum. Again, the A will pick out these 1, 2, 3 options in A positions that you can have compared to the full picture M to A. And then of course the P which will break open the borders again, so it will break open the borders. And that's what the map is. The map is mapping out, it's breaking open itself to its border, it's opening its borders, and it's folding out actually. It's like an unfolding of the map as well, which you can recognize in the positions and the combinations of letters that are expressing exactly that what is needed to associate the right thing with it. So I hope you enjoyed this one. It wasn't a too difficult one. Please join the Facebook page, join the visit to the Sound-Informed website where you have previous videos listed alphabetically, or just I invite you also to just check out the volume 1 and 2, or volume 1 and 2 separately. Volume 1 is just the theory development, and the second one is about what happened before with the association of the words that has more meanings, the letters that have more meanings into a bigger structural reference as well. And I have comparisons to all the methods I found about meanings of letters that were useful to put into a book. And you can also of course subscribe to this YouTube channel, obviously. Thanks again for watching. Bye.